Hi, this is JilliBling. Today's project is a fun fold. It's all about sunrise sailing. So that's the project. And are you wondering what designer paper is this? And on here, that's shaving cream. We're going to do shaving cream today. So we'll be using Sunrise Sailing Bundle and the embossing folder to put texture on the waves down here. Let's see if you could see that. I think you could see it really good on this one. And I didn't plan on doing that, but when I used, there's these two dies that come in the bundle, it left a line down at the bottom. It's like, oh, I don't like that. So I thought, well, I'll texture it. And I have one ready, and I could show you what the line is so you know what I'm talking about, but we'll get there in just a minute. Okay, so see how it opens up? Okay. So here we go. Here's the embossing folder, and it's a hybrid embossing folder, which means you could put the die in here, and it will cut and texture all at one time. We won't be doing all that. We'll be doing it on, I'll be doing 3 projects using this bundle, and we'll do that on one of the future projects. Papers for cutting pieces out. That's for the sun. Oop, I already have one. And in the video description are all the paper cut sizes and the score lines. But we'll go through that as we build the card in just a minute. So these are papers for the back. These are papers for the front. And these papers, the 2 white papers, are 5.5 by 4 1/4, and that's for doing the shaving cream. And the shaving cream takes just a little bit to dry, so let's get started with that part. I'll put all these on here. Okay, so for shaving cream, you need a scratch piece of paper because we're going to have shaving cream on here. We're going to want to wipe it off, and you need something for the paper to, the shaving cream to go onto. You probably don't want it on your scratch paper because then it makes it hard to work with your scratch paper when it's all wet. So we'll use that. A napkin, just because after you have stuff all over you, you'll need to clean it off. You could use anything. I have old popsicle sticks, and I've used these for years, and I just rinse them off in the sink, and I use it again after it dries. And a couple of reinkers. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And what's kind of important is a pan. And I have a little funny story to tell you about the pan. When I first, well, I'll tell you here in a minute. Let's just get started with this part. Oops, shaving cream. Oh, hold on. Okay, so when you choose your shaving cream, you want original, the fluffy shaving cream. You don't want the gel. Shake it up, and you don't need too much for just these 2 pieces of cardstock we're going to do. So I'll put it in here. And this is really inexpensive. You could get it at like Walmart or Target for $1 or $2 or $3. Might have gone up in price, but it's very reasonable. So there's that. Now, when you're looking in here, you see how you could see the aluminum through a few parts of that, and I just want to make sure that it's covered. And that's about the size of a piece of paper that I'm going to be using. It's about, and it's fine if it isn't perfect. So the colors that I'm choosing are Pool Party and Lost Lagoon, and that's just because those are the colors I want my waves, and those are the colors of the designer or the cardstock. So I'm going to put some, and you could do any combination. You know, let me show you. I have in the cabinet, ooh, this is Soothing Aloe. But again, this is the creamy shaving cream. Sticks. I don't know. So this is from years gone by, and I've done shaving cream quite a few times. But look how it is if you do it in greens. And you could even see the bright granny apple green in there. Look at that one. That has blue and mossy in it, and Coastal Cabana. This one is more browns and maybe a little bit of blue. This one is gray with a bit of green. Look at all those colors. And just so you know that stamping on the shaving cream paper, sometimes it's hard to get a good image, so you'll want to put it on your stamp positioning tool so you could stamp it a few times. Look how pretty that one is. But you can do any color combination. Look at that and all the pink. Like, look at these papers. So you can have a lot of fun. I think all of these papers are just about having fun. Look at those. Fun stuff. Okay, back to today's project. So in here I'm going to put 6 drops of each of these reinkers, the Lost Lagoon and Pool Party, and have them just a little bit random. It doesn't matter where. And Pool Party. And I'm just putting these in different areas. Okay, so now we're going to take this, and if you would have put it in here, you would have spots of reinker, and they'd be heavy. So I'm going to give it just a little bit of a swirl. Okay, maybe more of a swirl. So do you see where the pattern comes from? And when I look at this, is that what I want on my paper? Not really, I want it a little bit smoother. Okay, so here we go. Where's my extra paper? So you take one piece and put it in, and when you put it in, see how I'm getting this part of the paper? And that part there is going to hit the foil, so I might scooch it a little bit. But you just want full coverage on it. Make sure there's nothing on here, because this is what I'm going to wipe the shaving cream off of. And if you can, avoid getting shaving cream on the back side of the paper, because it makes it challenging to stick. So as you pull it up, you're thinking, oh, I'm ruining the pattern, but you don't. Another thing is, notice I have good coverage. Oh, maybe not right there. Okay, now on my paper, I'm going to, and you can wear gloves if you want. Oop, I didn't get any color there. Well, sometimes that's just how things work out. Okay, that one is done. And that's why you need the napkin, because you just get messy. And yeah, my fingers are going to be stained for a day or so. And they're going to smell really good. Okay, so the first pass, like this, dipping it in, the colors are really strong. Second pass, they get softer and softer, until about the 4th pass, you're like, oh, that's not very strong at all. And I'll show you as we do the next one. So I have shaving cream back here, but it's okay. Just try not to get it full of shaving cream. And I'm a little bit disappointed I don't have anything over here, but sometimes it works out. So I'm going to set this off to the side, maybe on the ink pads, just to let it dry. Okay, so now it's time to dip into the shaving cream again, but when you look at it, it's like, well, there's no color there, lots of color there. I'm going to take this, put it in, and then give it a swirl so it's more the pattern you want. I kind of didn't like the first pattern, but that's okay. Once again, there's no color over there. So I'm going to pick this up that has color in it. But see how the colors are getting softer? So it'll be quite a difference from the first one to the next one. You could really see the colors in there. Okay, here we go. Goes in there, get good coverage all the way to the corners. Try to get this clean. In the end, I don't know how it gets, I get all messy. It gets all messy. Okay, let's see how it is. I guess that right there is how I get messy. Okay, missing it here. Okay, I'm gonna wipe off the excess. Oh, that's a mess. And yep, the paper naturally curls. But the pattern is already set on the paper, so if you think that when you're doing your little squeegee action, it's going to disrupt the pattern, it's already set. Okay, that's 90%, 95% of it. Okay. So I could do a few more dips in here, but look how much smoother it is. I could probably do quite a few more dips in here, but I'm not going to. I just need 2 papers for today. Okay, let's get this to be drying. Oop, it's kind of peeling up the paper. Okay, so that is very wet, but I'll let it dry. And what's nice is the card smells like shaving cream for a few years. Okay, that's gonna go away. Okay, back to where we were. Re-inkers, another reason to get re-inkers. So now that you know, do you see the pattern in here? It's very soft. And up here. In here, there's pattern, and then I did blending brush over the top. Then you could really see it here. So back to the project. This is the back paper, and we'll work with that in just a bit. So let's score this base paper. These can set off to the side. We'll use that in just a bit. Okay, so this paper is scored at 2 3/4, 2, 2 3/4, 4 3/4, and 5 1/2. Okay. And the movement piece, this piece right here, that is cut to 1 1/4 by 6 1/4. I'm going to score it at 4 and 4 3/4. 4 and 4 3/4. Okay. So let's see what we have. It's in half. So there's that piece. Oh, look at my new thing. It's a bone folder, and I love it. We'll use that. So I'm just making sure that the top piece lines up with the bottom piece. Just make sure that I have a straight score. this little thing. So it goes like that, that, and like that. Okay, we are set. Okay, so all these Lost Lagoon papers are going to be attached. So this one will go right up here. Might as well attach them. And then next is to attach the shaving cream papers, but those need just a little bit of time to dry. Cutting these little pieces, and the shaving cream pieces are even smaller. That tucks under. Trying to get the corners because we don't want them lifting. Okay, how's it looking? Good. Okay, so this piece, because all these little layers make a difference. Okay, so I won't attach this piece until we get the shaving cream pieces on here. So what's next is, let's work on the boat. Let's work on all the boats. So here's the stamp set. There's the boat. Not enough room. It's still cold. It's wet. So stamp the biggest sailboat. I think that might be all the stamping that's on this. Oh, and on the back we'll do Happy Retirement after we do the blending brushes. Okay, so there's a die to cut that out. And then that's for the shaving cream paper. Then I'll cut out some birds, little set of 3, and I'll cut out a medium sail and small sail. And then these pieces are for, right here, the pecan pie, the boat, and the, is that the mast? Is that what you call that? The pole. Okay, that could go on the pecan pie piece. Okay. Get those cut out. So here they are. Look how cute those little birds are. So to do this, there's simply putting glue all over on here And then this will attach just like that. It's kind of fragile right down here. And it will just leave the top, that little ball there at the top. See how cute that is? Can you see the... It probably doesn't help it. At the top. Just cute. Cute, cute, cute. Same thing on here. Okay, let that dry. Okay. So for this, we'll do the sun here next, but see how you could see the sun through there? I want to cut that part out. And it's not as easy as it should be. I probably should, I think I have an X-Acto knife somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is. So, my snips, we all have snips, right? Using the blade part, I'm pushing it forward just to make the slit, get it started right in the middle. And then I'm just going to trim that out. Make it a little bit bigger so I can get my scissors really in there. And then leave it with just a nice little white border. At first I didn't have it done. It's like, I don't know, it kind of bugs me. Then after I did it, it's like, oh, seeing the little sun through there, it makes all the difference. So that's just a start. Just getting it going. Okay. Okay, there it is. Okay, so let's color this in. Nothing much fancy about that. It's going to be colored with pecan pie and blueberry bushel. So I'll do the pecan pie right here. Nothing fancy, it's just getting color on here. When I do the darker color, it might add a little bit of dimension depth, but it's so small. But I'm trying to do at least 2 layers of coverage just to get it a good solid wood. I don't know if that's mahogany looking. Okay, while it's still wet, I'll go back with the dark. And I like to do it somewhat right away so I don't have to spend time doing blending, because if the first color is still wet, it just blends all on its own. And see how I'm just going along the bottom? And I'm fine if it leaves kind of a line. Not fancy. Okay, same thing with blueberry bushel. Light. Couple layers of color. And I know that naturally the sails should be white, but this kind of matches the project. So at this point, everything is blueberry bushel light. I do 2 layers of color. You see how some areas are a little splotchy? This will make it uniform. Uniform color coverage. Okay. then Blueberry Bushel Dark, just along this little inside edge. And same process over here. Color it all in. I might need to do another layer of color because it doesn't look that smooth. Okay. There we go. That's looking better. Then again, along the bottom and then in the center, just a hint of dark. Okay, sailboat is done. See, that doesn't look that smooth. There, that's better. Okay, so that is done. I think I have too much white here. And down here. You know, sometimes you have to trim up your imperfect die cutting. If it was equal all around, that's fine. But it isn't. Okay, so next up, let's do the sun. This is sunrise sailing, so it's got to be a sun. Okay. Okay, so to do the sun, I have a little paper and hole punch. Just got this new punch. 1 7/8. I haven't even put my name on it. So if you hold it at diagonal corners, it should fit in here perfectly and still be able to hold on to it. Okay. So sometimes one side looks a little rough, so this side is going to hide underneath the sailboat. So right up here, I'm going to start with, okay, let's start at the bottom. I'm going to do Melon Mumbo. So these are the colors. Melon Mumbo, Pumpkin Pie, and Daffodil Delight. I think that completely makes this project. Without it, it'd be kind of boring. Okay, melon. So I'm going to divide it, just estimate in my head, 4 color zones, because this is lemon lolly. So melon mambo gets some color. It's a little heavy, but the less ink that's on it, the softer it'll get. And I'm drifting up a little higher, then back down, because I want that to be heavy melon mambo. Okay, so you can see it's heavy here. Less. And then, ooh, pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie. So I'll start out in the mellow mambo and then drift a little bit further. Mellow mambo. Less ink, softer it is. But you could definitely tell that's pumpkin pie. Kind of canceled out the mellow mambo. I might put more pink in there. There, that's better. And next is Daffodil Delight, and I'll start right about here, and I'll drift a little higher, trying to leave a little bit of the Daffodil Delight, because that's like that's a whole different color, much softer. Start midpoint. Oop, I can't hold on to it there. Midpoint, drift a little higher. Okay, so you can see all the colors. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So that is done. We're going to use these for the back. We could do that now. So for the back, melon, pumpkin, daffodil, white. That's right on here. So you're like, okay, just jump right on in, which is fine because there's melon here. But when it comes to the lighter colors, I'm going to try to make sure that each of them have their own scratch paper, because sometimes the blending brush picks up a little bit of color. So, mellow mambo. Keep in mind there's going to be the waves down here, so I have to go a little bit higher than planned. Okay, just leave it at that. See how much ink is still on the pumpkin pie? And I could start right from here, or naturally I would want to do it there, but the pumpkin pie, the moisture from the ink might pick up some of this pink, and I don't want that, so I have to give it its own space. Ooh, look how nice those are blending. Okay, and next is daffodil. And here, this will explain it really well. If I put that here and started doing this, the daffodil ink would pick up some of the melon mambo ink, and I would have more of an orange through here. So I'm going to give it its own space. And just a hint of color going to nothing up at the top. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, you could definitely see the 3 different colors to the white. Okay, so that's done. And I'm right-handed, so flip this around. So I'm going to stamp the words. I like those retirement words. Now stamp them in black. Happy retirement. I'm using the dark color against the white paper. That will help me show me where the edge of the paper is. Sometimes you need to do that. Ooh, that's pretty. We're done stamping. Isn't that nice? Okay, and I'm not going to attach this yet because I still have to put the waves on here, and then I'll have to trim them. Yeah, I trimmed it against the white. I was making sure that there was the Lost Lagoon border. But yes, I'll trim it against this in just a minute. Okay, let's see how our paper is doing. Still a little bit wet. But let me show you what the plan is for these 2 papers. So I have a cutting template for this size paper. And it's just to make sure that you get most use out of your papers. So first of all, when you look at the sample, these colors are a little bit heavier than these colors, the shaving cream ink. So I will put this paper, because to me this seems stronger, Oh, but you know what? This is going more up and down. Okay, so this paper I'm going to have out here. 1, 2, right in here, 3. So that will be for this side. And I'll have the sizes that you cut these papers, and I'll have a picture of this little cutting template. Okay, so I have them already cut. So there's this one, there's this one, and that one. The rest of the paper can be discarded. Okay, so those are done. Set those here. So on the back side, this one I like it because it's going a little bit more horizontal. And this one is pretty simple. 4" by 1", 4 sections. And then this piece, I have it cut into 3 sections, which is 4 right here. And then these other 3, those go right here. Okay, so I have them done. And I used the die cut on them. Let me show you about this. So there's 2 different dies, which is really nice because they give you a variety of little waves, the little holes. Remember how I said that when I ran this one through, it left like a ridge, a dent? Let me hold that up. Which is why I decided to use the embossing folder to give it some texture. And that made it so that the line from the die wasn't as obvious. So to do that, took the embossing folder, and you could do 2 at a time. Run it through, then do the other 2. And I left this one without texture on it just so I could show you that little ridge, but I'm going to tuck it in to the middle layer on the waves on the back side of the paper, so you won't be able to tell that it's not textured, but I just want to show you that ridge. Okay, so let's get to building. How about, oh, we have to cut that. Where's that template? Because that's going to be these pieces. It's going to go onto here. Okay. So it's cut 1" by 3 3/4. Three and 3/4. 1 1/4. And you're left with a 1/2" piece. And we'll use all of that. Okay, so these that we just cut are going to go onto here. And I'm not going to glue where the die cut made the waves, because I'll need to tuck the sailboat in, and it's nice to have a little bit of texture, a little bit of lift to them. It makes it look like they're vigorous waves. So tiny. This piece is hardly seen, but if you didn't put it on, you would see it. Okay, so that's done. So now let's build this part. The big one. And I'd say be a little bit generous on the glue, because the paper that you put the shaving cream on it naturally curls. As you could see it in my hand, it's curling. So get it in place. And this is why I haven't assembled it yet, is because it makes it very convenient to open that up, put it in place. So I could see it's already lifting. Good. Now, this one, hopefully it'll stick enough in this much time. I'm making sure that it's even at the top. Probably more important than even at the bottom, because the bottom is going to be covered by decoration. Okay, that one's sticking pretty good. Do I want that on top or hidden? Put it on top, it kind of looks like a cloud. So thin, lots of glue to hold it in place. But thin so it dries quick. And all the way to the corners so they don't curl up. Okay. That looks good. I think it's gonna curl a little. Let's see how this one is doing. Oh, that one's stuck pretty good, so. There we go. I don't want glue to get on my block. Okay, so that can sit there for a minute. How about if we work on the back? Because we have, oh, I didn't do the blending brush. Because see how there's blending brush right here? And a little there? Okay, I'm gonna have to be creative. And blending brush on these. See how it's the blueberry? Okay, who was it? I think it was Debbie. No, I think it was Jude that last time said, when you do mistakes, it's good because then we can learn how to fix them. Okay, so I'm going to put Post-it notes on this to do the blending brush. I'll do that in a minute, but for now, let's do blending brush on these 3 pieces because I know I can handle that. Blueberry bushel. So what I'm doing now is see how the tips of the waves have a little bit of blueberry on them? So if you look at these waves, see how the blueberry really accentuates it? Blueberry. Just a little bit. My flat one. That one's going to be the middle one. Oh, look how nice those look like waves. See the shaving cream paper? Pretty. Oh, this one's going to be in the front. Okay, so let me try to fix the whoops. The whoops is blending brush on here. If I do that, I'm going to get blueberry on Lost Lagoon and Pool Party. Don't want that. Therefore, I'm going to protect it. How is that for improvising? And I want it just at the top. Do y'all keep little partial dimensionals or sticky notes? I use them all the time, like a lot. Okay, there, how's that? More ink. This is gonna work out just fine. As long as it's off the edge. So you know that paper, the shaving cream paper that I didn't get much color on it? That would be perfect opportunity to make it with blueberry. Okay, so that's good. And I'm going to put a little bit on this inside thin little strip. And when I take it off, it's like the reveal. It's like revealing the tape when you're painting something. Who knew, huh? Yeah. So I'm going to do just a little bit on this one only. Just a little bit. It kind of gets a little gritty looking. Okay, see, we solved it. Okay, now we can build stuff. And you're like, okay, yeah, you got it there. But once you see it with the sailboat, it's like, oh, I see it coming together. Okay, so let's build the back, and then we'll go back to building the front and get the movement piece on there. Okay, so the back, there are 3 pieces. I had a favorite one. I think this is a favorite because it looks like a, see, they're all favorite. That one has to be the middle. So to do this, it's nothing fancy other than 3 dimensionals, random places, just so that it looks like this wave is sticking up above the prior wave. 1, 2, 3. And I'm trying not to put the dimensionals to the edge of the paper because I'm going to have that stuck down with glue. And if it's too close to the edge of the paper is like, well, do you want me to have glue on me or dimensional? And that will become clear what I'm talking about here in just a minute. Okay, so this is the middle one. Where's that favorite one? This is the favorite. So I'll go this one, and then this one. And you can see I'm not lining them up, not trying to be perfect. I know I'm going to trim off the end so it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so when I hold this up, can you see the dimensionals? How they kind of create a shadow? Kind of ugly looking there. And then I'm going to put glue in between these layers to stick down this bottom part. Can't even tell how much glue I'm doing. Glue here. Did I put dimensionals on this one? No, that one is flat. Okay, off with the dimensionals here. Okay. Then I'm going to put glue all over everything showing here. All the layers, all 3 layers. Somebody gets their card, they're going to know you're serious. This is a serious card. Like thickness and what's going on here. Okay, that. So this is going to go onto the back. And I'm just going to line it up with the bottom, making sure none of the melon mambo show through. Good, good. Okay, now I'm going to really start sticking it down because it has glue all over everything. And I'll trim off this and trim off this one. It's probably taking a minute for that glue to start adhering. And so, remember how I was putting dimensionals more in the center, not at the edges? Because I want these edges to be flat. Because it looks funny if you look at it from the side and you see all the dimensionals. Okay, so those are stuck together. These, right here, it's not. Oop. Oh, that one isn't either. Dry. There it goes. Okay, sides are good. Bottom is good. Okay, so before I trim these, I'm just going to let it rest for a minute because I've put it through quite a bit. Okay, so that's good. This is the sample. Okay, let's start building. That's drying. Let's start building this. So to make the front, I'm going to put glue all over here, particularly to the edges. Then I'm going to roll this in, close it up, and then make sure it will go flat when the card is flat. Good. So before it dries, make sure it's square. Then, yeah, make sure it goes flat because it has to go into the envelope. And that was a little bit of a challenge. I think that I pushed, see how it's kind of popping up? I think I pushed that piece way back into there, which is good. Okay, so that's done. Now this piece is going to go right here on top, right to this edge. After that's done, I'll put glue all over here and put it right to there. So for now, all the way out to the edge, then right here. There, let it dry just a little bit, and then I'll put this piece on. So we have our sailboat and our sun. So look how nice it is when it's back behind there. Now aren't you happy you cut out that little part? So this one, I have it up a little higher. How about this one? Maybe a little bit of the melon mambo showing through here. This one, the sun is lower in the sky. Therefore, I'll put glue all over this narrow sail, and maybe a little right there. A little right there, and all over this. And if you can, get your placement before you attach it, because if you start moving it around, you'll smear and mess up your blending brush sun. It'll get all splotchy. Okay, so I'm just making sure that the bottom of the boat is parallel with the bottom of the sun. That's gonna go on here. Kind of tucked underneath the waves. Remember how we didn't put glue on the underside of the waves? Well, with it being this low, I wonder where should my birds go? Maybe they could go up on here. Okay, so this has probably had enough time to dry. So I'm going to put glue all over this panel. All the way to the edges. But thin. And tuck it right into place. Right there along the edge of the card. And I would like to close this just to make sure it will close, but I think if I pushed it too hard, if it was out of place, well, yeah, it's just fine. Okay, so that part is done. So let's let all this sit for just a minute, the glue dry, and we'll work on finishing up the back. Okay, so when I look at this, I'm noticing that the edges are stuck together. That's good. The bottom is all one piece. So it's ready to trim off these funky side extra bits. Ooh, come on. Okay. Thick through there. Okay. There it is, all tidied. You know, the first on the sample, you could see more of the melon mambo. This one, you see more of the pumpkin pie. I'm not going to change it because I don't know how to change it. I think I like this one a little better though. Okay, so that's going to be attached. Ooh, look how pretty it is. You know, I was saying that I like the melon mambo showing, but I think that this one, the one we're doing right now, is more, I want to say the word congruent. It's more equal to the front. The colors, the pink, they're both pretty. Okay, because there's so much going on, I'm going to be a little heavy at the bottom with the glue. Make sure it's the right side up. What do they call it when the colors are all, is it monochromatic? What do they call that? They're analogous. I'll work on that. Oh, and you could see a little bit of the pink down here. Oh well, don't tell anyone. The person who's retiring won't care if they see pink down there. Okay, so the back is done. So now just decorate the front. So to attach the sailboat, I'm going to tuck it underneath some of these waves. And I'm going to have the wood part with glue and the top part with dimensionals. When I'm looking at this one, I have the sun flat on there and the boat up above it, but I don't think I could pull it off. Nope, it's going to stay. Okay, so dimensionals. Dimensionals, bitty dimensional, right up here, and then the boat gets glue. Gets tucked in under the waves, right about there. And then the dimensionals will hold on to the shaving cream. Okay. Well, this one, the sun is really coming out. Okay, and then the little bitty, this one will go here. And yeah, it's kind of hidden. Once the card is open all the way, you could see it better. I have it so it's skimming right across the top. And that's on with, well, this one I did double. Let's do that again. You're like double dimensionals. Just because I want it to be taller than the bitty boat. So that's 2. 1, 2. It's a pile of 2 of them. I know it's excessive, huh? 1, oop, there's 2 right there. 1, 2, and I have to do that on the wood part too. 1, oop, 2, I need more fingers. 1, 2, And I got 2 of them. This one gets only one layer. One, 2. And there, it's a tall sailboat. Okay, so that's gonna go maybe hidden just a little bit underneath. Okay, so that's a tall. The back is kind of thick. Okay, and then this little one, so let me know if you try shaving cream and how it goes, or if you've done it in the past, and what colors you did. And I have a Facebook group called JilliBling. I would love to see your pictures there. I think I need some up here of your shaving cream projects. Oh, and if the next mini catalog is coming out for the holidays, and if you've ordered within the past few months, $50 plus, there'll be one on the way to you. And if you haven't, order soon, because I'd love to send you one. Okay, so this goes kind of hidden back behind here, so it's more in the distance. Okay. Oop, that part looks wrong. Looks crooked. There it is. Okay, so now just the birds and we are set. I think the birds still will look good over the sun. Well, let me just lay them here. There. I think the blueberry bushel makes this one show. Okay. I was afraid of that. But now, can I get it back in? Right there. That's okay. That's where it'll go. This one's tiny. Just gonna get full of glue. That's just how it is. Glue and ink. Okay, there it is. That's today's project. What do you think? You gonna try shaving cream? Isn't that fun? Can you tell how substantial it is? Well, thanks for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. Hope you have a great day. Thank you. Bye.